The holographic display illuminated the vast chamber of the Zalaxian High Command, casting an eerie blue glow across the assembled dignitaries. Supreme Commander Vexthor stood before the projection of a small blue-green planet, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting fragments of light across the chamber walls. Earth, as its inhabitants called it, rotated slowly in the display, surrounded by primitive satellites and debris that the Zalaxians viewed as nothing more than space junk. "This," Vexthor announced, his translator converting his crystalline resonances into standard galactic speech, "is our latest discovery in Sector 7249, a developing civilization that has barely managed to reach its own moon." A ripple of amusement passed through the assembled officials, their crystalline bodies chiming in derision. The Zalaxian Confederation had dominated galactic politics for over 3 millennia, their mastery of crystalline technology and quantum harmonics making them the undisputed leaders in space travel and military might. They had encountered countless emerging civilizations, but few had amused them as much as these humans. Scientific Overseer Killera stepped forward, her form shimmering with the characteristic blue patterns of the academic caste. "Our analysis of their technology suggests they are approximately 3 centuries behind the galactic standard. Their primary means of propulsion still relies on chemical rockets." She paused as more chimes of laughter echoed through the chamber. "They have yet to discover even basic quantum field manipulation." But deep within a classified facility beneath the Himalayan mountains, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a very different gathering. The assembled military and scientific leaders of Earth's Unified Defense Council watched intently as she presented her findings. "The Zalaxians believe our public space program represents the extent of our capabilities," she said, bringing up a hologram of her own, one showing the quantum manifold engine her team had developed in secret. "They see what we want them to see: outdated rockets, primitive satellites, and clumsy space stations. They don't know about Project Prometheus." General Marcus Santos, his dark eyes reflecting the hologram's glow, leaned forward. "How long can we maintain this deception, Dr. Chen?" "As long as we need to," she replied, her confidence unwavering. "The Zalaxians' greatest weakness is their arrogance. They're so convinced of their superiority that they've stopped looking closely. They don't notice that our primitive satellites are collecting detailed data on their crystalline technology. They haven't realized that what they dismiss as space debris includes quantum field sensors studying their ship's every movement." The quantum manifold engine rotated slowly in the hologram, its innovative design unlike anything the galaxy had seen. While the Zalaxians had mastered quantum harmonics, humanity had taken a different path. Unable to replicate the aliens' crystalline technology, Earth's scientists had instead developed something entirely new, a way to fold space using manifold theory that even the Zalaxians hadn't conceived of. "The key," Dr. Chen continued, "is that they think quantum manipulation can only be achieved through crystalline matrices. They never considered that organic neural networks, human brains, could be used to navigate quantum space. Their dismissal of our biological nature is their blind spot." Admiral Helena Wright, her silver hair tied back in a severe bun, studied the engine schematics. "And our fleet?" "Nearly ready," General Santos responded. "The public thinks we're building mining vessels for the asteroid belt. The Zalaxian scans show exactly that: crude industrial ships. They don't see the quantum manifold cores hidden beneath the hull plating. They don't detect the neural interface systems that will allow our pilots to navigate quantum space instinctively in ways their crystalline computers can't predict." In orbit, Earth's apparent junkyard of satellites and debris continued its dance, while beneath the camouflage of obsolete technology, humanity prepared. Every dismissive report from Zalaxian observers was a victory, every condescending analysis proof that their deception was working. Back in the Zalaxian High Command, Vexthor concluded his presentation. "I recommend we begin standard integration procedures. Their resources could be useful, and their system's location has strategic value. They'll have no choice but to accept our authority. Their technology can't possibly resist us. And if they try, A junior commander asked, their crystalline form pulsing with ambition. Vexthor's response resonated with centuries of unquestioned superiority. Then we'll give them a brief demonstration of real power. These humans will learn, as all primitive species do, that resistance against the Confederation is futile. In the Himalayan facility, Dr. Chen watched the final test of the quantum manifold engine. The device hummed to life, its innovative design creating ripples in spacetime that no crystalline sensor could detect. As the test concluded successfully, she shared a knowing look with General Santos. "They think they're the teachers," she said quietly. "They don't realize they're about to become students." The general nodded, a grim smile playing across his face. "Let them keep underestimating us. The galaxy's about to learn that humanity doesn't follow anyone else's rules of technological evolution." As Earth's sun set on another day, two very different preparations continued. The Zalaxians drafted their integration protocols, confident in their absolute superiority. Meanwhile, humanity's hidden fleet grew, each ship a testament to the ingenuity that arose from necessity and defiance. The galaxy's established order was about to face something it had never encountered before, a species that turned being underestimated into its greatest advantage. The quantum manifold chamber thrummed with energy as Captain Maya Rodriguez settled into the neural interface pod. Through the curved viewport of the UES Defiant, Earth's first quantum manifold vessel, she watched the false hull plates shimmer, a carefully maintained disguise that made the ship appear to be nothing more than a basic mining vessel. Neural interface synchronization at 98%, reported Dr. Chen's voice through the ship's comm system. "How does it feel, Captain?" Maya closed her eyes, feeling the quantum manifold engine's potential coursing through her consciousness. Unlike the Zalaxians' crystalline computers, the neural interface allowed her to sense quantum space intuitively, as if it were an extension of her own body. "It's like being able to see in every direction at once. I can feel the quantum fields." In the control center, Dr. Chen watched the readings with satisfaction. The neural interface was performing beyond their highest expectations. While the Zalaxians used complex crystalline matrices to calculate quantum trajectories, human pilots could now navigate quantum space instinctively, making adjustments faster than any computer. "Incoming transmission from Zalaxian Observation Post," announced Lieutenant Park from his communication station. "They're requesting our flight plan for their records. Standard procedure for monitoring primitive vessels." General Santos, watching from the command center, allowed himself a small smile. "Send them the mining operation route we prepared. Let them think we're still struggling with basic spaceflight." The deception had become a fine art. Every move was calculated to reinforce the Zalaxians' presumptions. Even now, a fleet of actual mining ships operated in the asteroid belt, providing perfect cover for the quantum manifold vessels hiding among them. But the Zalaxians weren't completely blind to Earth's activities. In her private chambers aboard the crystalline Arcship Dominance, scientific overseer Killara studied anomalous readings from her latest scans of Earth's space traffic. Something about the energy signatures didn't quite match expected patterns for primitive chemical rockets. "Computer, enhance scan resolution of human mining vessel designation, MT-397, she commanded. The crystalline display shimmered, showing multiple layers of sensor data. Most of her colleagues would have dismissed the subtle inconsistencies, but Killara had built her career on attention to detail. "Energy dispersion patterns suggest." She paused, her crystalline form vibrating with uncertainty. "No, that's impossible. Their technology can't have advanced that quickly." In the depths of Europa's subsurface ocean, humanity's true fleet grew. Advanced construction facilities, hidden from prying eyes beneath kilometers of ice, assembled more quantum manifold ships. Admiral Wright stood at the observation window, watching as the UES Hyperion, their newest vessel, underwent its final preparations. 20 ships completed, 15 more under construction, reported Commander James Chen, Dr. Chen's brother and the facility's chief engineer. each one capable of outmaneuvering anything the Zalaxians have encountered before. And the special modifications? Wright asked, her expression serious. The quantum wake generators are installed and tested. When these ships move through quantum space, they'll create distortions that will play havoc with crystalline sensor systems. The Zalaxians won't know what hit them. Back aboard the UES Defiant, Captain Rodriguez completed another test flight. The quantum manifold engine allowed the ship to move in ways that defied conventional physics, creating patterns that looked like normal space debris to outside observers, while actually executing precise military maneuvers. Battle Group Delta, begin formation testing, she ordered. 4 other disguised ships moved into position, their quantum fields synchronizing through their pilots' neural interfaces. The resulting quantum resonance pattern was something no crystalline computer could have predicted. A perfect blind spot in Zalaxian detection systems. Dr. Chen watched the test results with growing excitement. The neural interface network is performing better than we hoped. The pilots aren't just controlling their ships, they're actually sharing quantum awareness across the battle group. They can coordinate movements with perfect precision. But their secrecy was about to face its greatest test. Aboard the Dominance, Catalra finally pieced together enough anomalous readings to warrant official attention. She requested an audience with Supreme Commander Vexthor, her crystalline form pulsing with nervous energy as she prepared to challenge the Confederation's assumptions about human capabilities. Supreme Commander, she began, her tone careful, I believe we may have overlooked something about the humans. Vexthor's massive crystalline form sparkled with annoyed attention. Overseer Kylora, we've been monitoring these primitives for months. Their technology is barely worth our notice. With respect, sir, I've detected energy patterns that shouldn't be possible with their level of technology. There are inconsistencies in their ship's movements, quantum fluctuations that don't match known physical principles. Are you suggesting, Vexthor's tone grew dangerous, that these humans have somehow developed technology comparable to ours, without using crystalline matrices? Impossible. As the Zalaxian leadership dismissed Kylora's concerns, humanity's preparations entered their final phase. In the Himalayan facility, Dr. Chen and General Santos reviewed their battle plans one last time. The Zalaxians will make their move soon, Santos predicted. Their integration protocols always follow the same pattern. First contact, observation, then a show of force to ensure compliance. Dr. Chen nodded. And when they do, they'll discover that humanity doesn't follow their patterns. Our quantum manifold fleet is ready. The neural interfaces are perfected. We've turned their blind spot into our greatest weapon. Captain Rodriguez's voice came through the quantum comm system, encrypted in ways the Zalaxians couldn't detect. Battle Groups Alpha through Echo report ready for Phase 1. All ships maintaining cover positions within mining operations. Neural interface networks are stable and synchronized. The stage was set. Humanity's hidden edge was about to be revealed, and the galaxy's balance of power would never be the same. As Earth's sun set once again, the quantum manifold fleet waited silently among the asteroids, their true nature concealed behind careful deception, ready to show the Zalaxians that underestimating humanity had been their greatest mistake. The Zalaxian integration fleet emerged from quantum space in a dazzling display of crystalline geometry, their ships arranging themselves in the traditional Confederation combat formation. 30 vessels, each a masterpiece of crystalline engineering, positioned themselves between Earth and Mars. Supreme Commander Vexthor stood aboard the flagship Dominance, his crystalline form radiating confidence as he prepared to deliver the standard ultimatum to Earth's primitive civilization. Send the message, he commanded, his tone carrying the weight of 3,000 years of Confederation authority. Let these humans understand the futility of resistance. The ultimatum echoed across all Earth frequencies. People of Earth, you have been deemed worthy of integration into the Zalaxian Confederation. Your resources and territory will be properly managed under our guidance. Resist, and you will witness power beyond your comprehension. You have one planetary rotation to submit your surrender. In the Himalayan Command Center, General Santos, and Dr. Chen exchanged knowing looks as the message played. "Right on schedule," Santos remarked. "They never deviate from their patterns." Dr. Chen activated the quantum secure communications. "All battle groups, execute Phase 1. Captain Rodriguez, you have tactical command." Aboard the UES Defiant, Maya Rodriguez felt the neural interface surge with enhanced awareness as her consciousness merged with the quantum manifold engine. Through the neural network, she sensed her fellow pilots doing the same across the fleet. Battle groups Alpha through Echo sync quantum fields and begin approach vectors. The mining fleet, scattered throughout the asteroid belt, suddenly moved with impossible precision. Ships that had appeared to be clumsy industrial vessels shed their false hull plates, revealing sleek warships underneath. The Zylaxian sensors registered the movement, but their crystalline computers struggled to make sense of the quantum signatures they were detecting. "Supreme Commander," Kylora's voice carried alarm as she analyzed the readings. "The human ships, they're generating quantum field patterns that don't match any known configuration." Vexthor dismissed her concern with a crystalline pulse of irritation. "Deploy the containment formation. Show these primitives what real quantum technology can do." The Zylaxian fleet began to move, their crystalline ships weaving complex patterns through space as they prepared to envelope and neutralize the approaching human vessels. But something was wrong. Their targeting systems couldn't establish proper locks. The human ships seemed to exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously, their movements defying prediction. Captain Rodriguez's voice carried across the human fleet. "Execute maneuver threshold. Show them what neural-guided quantum manifolds can do." The Earth fleet split into perfect attack formations, moving with a fluidity that made the Zylaxian ships' geometric patterns seem rigid and predictable. Through their neural interfaces, the human pilots coordinated their quantum fields in ways no computer could calculate. Each ship's quantum wake disrupted the Zylaxians' crystalline sensor networks, creating gaps in their defensive screens. Impossible. Vexthor's crystalline form vibrated with shock as the first Zylaxian ship fell to precisely targeted quantum torpedoes. Their technology, it can't be this advanced. Dr. Chen watched the battle unfold through the quantum sensor feeds. "The neural interface network is performing perfectly. Our pilots are acting as a single coordinated consciousness, while each maintaining individual tactical initiative, something the Zylaxians' rigid command structure can't match." The space between Earth and Mars became a quantum battlefield unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. Zylaxian ships fired salvos of crystalline energy weapons, but the human vessels seemed to dance between the beams, their quantum manifold drives allowing them to partially exist in multiple spatial locations at once. Each evasive maneuver was also an attack run, each defensive position a launching point for another strike. Commander James Chen's voice came through from the Europa base. "The quantum wake generators are working better than we hoped. Their crystalline matrices can't compensate for the field distortions. They're fighting blind." The Zylaxian fleet's perfect formation began to break apart as ship after ship lost sensor coordination. Their crystalline computers, designed to calculate every variable, were overwhelmed by the unpredictable quantum patterns generated by the human neural interface network. "All ships, execute maneuver Starfall," Rodriguez commanded. The Earth fleet moved as one, their quantum fields combining to create a massive disruption wave that shattered the remaining Zylaxian formation. Ships piloted by human consciousness flowed through quantum space with organic grace, striking with devastating precision at the now isolated Zylaxian vessels. Aboard the Dominance, Vexthor watched in disbelief as his fleet was systematically dismantled by what he had dismissed as primitive technology. "How?" he demanded of Kylora. "How did they develop this without crystalline matrices? They didn't follow our path." Kylora realized, her scientific mind finally grasping the truth. "They developed something entirely different, something we never considered possible." The battle concluded with the Dominance surrounded by Earth ships, their quantum manifold drives humming with controlled power. Captain Rodriguez opened a channel to the Zylaxian flagship. This demonstration is complete. The Zylaxian Confederation will recognize Earth's sovereignty and technological independence, or we will be forced to provide further evidence of our capabilities. In the Himalayan Command Center, General Santos nodded with satisfaction. Send word to all Earth forces. Operation Hidden Edge is a success, and send a message to the Zylaxian High Command. Humanity is not interested in being integrated. We are, however, open to discussing equal diplomatic relations. Dr. Chen studied the battle data, already seeing improvements they could make to the neural interface system. They'll be back, she said quietly. The Confederation won't accept this easily. No, Santos agreed, but next time they won't come expecting to find primitives, and we'll be ready with even more surprises. As the disabled Zylaxian ships limped back to quantum space, the galaxy's political balance shifted irreversibly. Humanity had not merely survived its first major interstellar battle, it had revolutionized quantum space warfare. The age of crystalline supremacy was over, and a new era of human innovation had begun. The great crystalline halls of the Zylaxian High Command pulsed with an energy not seen in centuries. The defeat of their integration fleet had sent shockwaves through the Confederation. Supreme Commander Vexthor stood before the Council, his usually pristine crystalline form showing stress fractures from the battle. The humans must be conquered, First Speaker Riken declared, his ancient form towering over the assembly. For the first time in 3 millennia, our technological supremacy has been challenged. This cannot stand. Scientific Overseer Killera stepped forward, her analysis complete. We've studied their quantum manifold technology. It's unlike anything in our archives. They've merged organic neural networks with quantum field manipulation in ways we never imagined possible. Then we will adapt, Vexthor announced. Prepare the Grand Armada. We will show these humans the full might of the Confederation. In Earth orbit, Captain Maya Rodriguez watched through the UEAS Defiance quantum sensors as humanity's defenses expanded. The success of the first battle had accelerated production. New shipyards had been revealed throughout the solar system, not just under Europa's ice, but within Mercury's caverns and Saturn's rings. Battle Group Echo, maintain quantum screen integrity, she ordered, feeling the neural interface network pulse with coordinated awareness. The human fleet now numbered over 100 ships, each crewed by pilots linked through the revolutionary technology. Deep within the Himalayan facility, Dr. Chen and her team worked tirelessly on the next evolution of their technology. The Zylaxians won't underestimate us again, she explained to General Santos as they reviewed holographic battle projections. They'll analyze every aspect of our first engagement and try to counter it. That's counting on it, Santos replied, gesturing to the new defensive installations appearing across the solar system. Everything they learned in the first battle is already obsolete. Commander James Chen's voice came through the quantum comm from Europa. The new quantum manifold cores are online. Mark EU drives are now operational across 60% of the fleet. The advancement of human technology had not slowed after their victory. It had accelerated. Every lesson learned from the first engagement had been incorporated into new designs. The neural interface network had evolved, allowing for deeper integration between human consciousness and quantum space. But the Zylaxians had not been idle. The Grand Armada emerged from quantum space with overwhelming force. 300 ships arranged in a new formation designed to counter human tactics. Their crystalline hulls had been reinforced with quantum resonance fields specifically calibrated to resist the disruption waves that had proved so effective in the first battle. All ships, battle positions, Rodriguez commanded as warnings flashed across the neural network. The human fleet moved to defend Earth, their formations flowing like liquid through quantum space. Vexthor's voice boomed across all frequencies. You have forced our hand, humans. The Grand Armada has never known defeat. Surrender now, or be destroyed. Dr. Chen's voice came through the secure quantum channel. Execute Protocol Sunstorm. Suddenly, quantum beacons hidden throughout the solar system activated. The space around the Xylaxian fleet erupted with conflicting quantum fields, their carefully planned formation disrupted by artificial gravity wells and temporal eddies. The human fleet's Mark II quantum manifold drives allowed them to navigate the chaos with precision, while the Xylaxian ships struggled to maintain coherence. Impossible. Vexthor raged as his fleet's formation buckled. Their control of quantum space exceeds all theoretical limits. The battle spread across the solar system. Every time the Xylaxians adapted to one human tactic, a new one emerged. The neural interface network allowed Earth's pilots to innovate in real time, developing new strategies faster than the crystalline computers could analyze them. Near Venus, a wing of Xylaxian cruisers found themselves caught in a quantum crossfire as human ships seemed to attack from multiple temporal vectors simultaneously. In the asteroid belt, the Grand Armada's heavy destroyers were scattered by quantum wake patterns that defied their defensive calculations. "They're not just fighting us," Kalora realized, watching from the Xylaxian flagship. "They're rewriting the rules of quantum combat with every engagement." The Mark II quantum manifold drives proved capable of manipulations that the Xylaxians had thought impossible. Human ships could partially phase through quantum space, appearing to be in multiple locations at once. The neural interface network had evolved to allow pilots to share not just tactical information, but combat intuition itself. Battle Group Alpha. Execute Maneuver Pythagoras, Rodriguez commanded. Her ship led a precise series of quantum jumps that looked chaotic to outside observers, but followed a complex mathematical pattern. The maneuver split the Grand Armada's center, creating vulnerabilities that other human ships quickly exploited. From his command post, General Santos watched the battle unfold across holographic displays. "The Xylaxians thought quantity would overwhelm quality," he observed. "They didn't realize we've been preparing for this exact scenario." The neural network is achieving 97% synchronization across all battle groups, Dr. Chen reported. The pilots are predicting Xylaxian responses before their crystalline computers can calculate them. The space around Earth became a quantum storm of unprecedented scale. Xylaxian ships, despite their superior numbers, found themselves unable to establish tactical superiority. Every formation they attempted was countered before it could fully form. Every strategy they employed was met with an innovative response that their ancient tactical databases couldn't predict. Commander James Chen's voice cut through the chaos. "Mark II cores are performing beyond specifications. The quantum wake generators are creating interference patterns that their sensors can't compensate for. We're not just beating their technology, we're making it work against them." As the battle reached its climax, the human fleet executed a coordinated quantum surge that overwhelmed the Grand Armada's defenses. Dozens of Xylaxian ships, their crystalline matrices overloaded by conflicting quantum fields, were forced to withdraw. Vexthor watched in disbelief as the greatest fleet in Confederation history was systematically dismantled by an enemy they had dismissed as primitive mere months ago. The humans weren't just fighting back, they were revolutionizing space warfare with every passing moment. As the Grand Armada retreated in disarray, Captain Rodriguez opened a channel to the remaining Xylaxian ships. "This is your final warning. Earth is not your colony. We are not your subjects. The next incursion will be met with even greater force." In the Himalayan Command Center, Dr. Chen turned to General Santos. "They'll be back again." "Yes," he agreed, studying the battle data already flowing in. "But we'll be ready. Humanity doesn't just adapt, we evolve." The crystalline spires of the Xylaxian capital world Crystallos reflected the light of 3 suns, but their usual brilliance was dimmed by an unprecedented sight. Earth ships in orbit, their quantum manifold drives creating subtle distortions in space that the Xylaxians could now recognize all too well. After 2 devastating defeats, the Confederation had finally agreed to diplomatic talks. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood in the Grand Conference Chamber, her neural interface subtle but visible at her temples, a deliberate reminder of humanity's technological achievement. Beside her, Dr. Chen and General Santos represented Earth's military and scientific leadership. Across the crystalline table, Supreme Commander Vex Thor and Scientific Overseer Killera faced them, their crystalline forms still showing traces of battle damage. The Confederation has existed for 3 millennia. First Speaker Raken began, his ancient form dominating the chamber. In all that time, we have never encountered a species that could match our mastery of quantum technology. Until now. Perhaps, Dr. Chen responded, her voice carrying the quiet confidence of someone who knew they had changed the galaxy forever. That is because you stopped looking for new possibilities. You assumed your path was the only path. The neural interface network hummed quietly in the background, connecting the human delegation with their fleet above. Every human ship captain shared awareness through the quantum field, ready to respond instantly if the talks proved to be a trap. But the Zalaxians had learned their lesson about underestimating humanity. Our analysis of your quantum manifold technology remains incomplete, Killera admitted, her scientific curiosity evident in her crystalline resonance. The integration of organic neural networks with quantum field manipulation, it should not have been possible. That's exactly why it worked, Dr. Chen explained. You were so certain of the superiority of crystalline computing that you never considered alternatives. Humanity had to innovate because we couldn't replicate your technology. Our limitation became our advantage. General Santos stepped forward, his presence commanding respect even among the crystalline aliens. We're not here to replace the Confederation's dominance with our own. We're here to propose a new order, one based on cooperation and mutual respect rather than technological supremacy. In orbit, Commander James Chen supervised the installation of the first human quantum beacon array above Crystallos, a gesture of both trust and warning. The beacons would facilitate faster-than-light communication between Earth and the Confederation capital, but they could also be used to disrupt Zylaxian quantum fields if hostilities resumed. Your victories were impressive, Vex Thor acknowledged, his tone carrying the weight of wounded pride and genuine respect. But surely you must realize that other Confederation worlds may not accept this change so easily. Captain Rodriguez smiled, the neural interface giving her a subtle awareness of quantum fluctuations throughout the system. We're counting on it. Change is never easy, but it is inevitable. Humanity has already begun sharing our quantum manifold technology with some of your former subject species. The announcement sent shocked ripples through the crystalline assembly. Killera's form vibrated with sudden understanding. The Arcturians, the Proxima colonies, their recent declarations of independence, were achieved with our help, Santos confirmed. The galaxy is changing. The age of singular dominance is over. We're offering the Confederation a chance to change with it, to be part of a new galactic community where different approaches and technologies can coexist and complement each other. Through the neural interface network, Rodriguez felt the quantum signatures of more ships arriving in nearby systems, vessels from formerly subjugated species, now equipped with human quantum manifold drives and neural interfaces adapted to their own physiologies. The galaxy was transforming more quickly than even they had anticipated. Consider this, Dr. Chen offered, activating a holographic display that showed the theoretical merger of crystalline and quantum manifold technologies. Your expertise in crystalline matrices, combined with our neural interface innovations, could revolutionize space travel again. Together, we could achieve things neither of our species could manage alone. First Speaker Raken studied the humans carefully, his ancient crystalline form processing centuries of experience. You could have used your advantage to destroy us. Instead, you offer partnership. Why? Because that's what humans do, Rodriguez answered. We adapt, we innovate, and we move forward. We learn from our encounters, build on them, grow from them. We don't seek to dominate. We seek to evolve, preferably together. The negotiations continued for days, but the outcome was never really in doubt. The Zylaxians, despite their pride, were practical enough to recognize that the galaxy had changed irreversibly. The final treaty established a new galactic council, with Earth and Crystallos as founding members, but equal representation guaranteed for all spacefaring species. In the Himalayan facility, now transformed into Earth's Center for Galactic Diplomatic Relations, Dr. Chen and General Santos watched the quantum feeds as the news spread across the galaxy. Former Confederation subjects were already applying for membership in the new council, while Zalaxian scientists worked alongside human researchers to explore the possibilities of hybrid technologies. Did you ever imagine this outcome when we first started Project Prometheus? Santos asked, watching the quantum manifold ships of a dozen species moving through the solar system. Not exactly, Chen admitted. We were just trying to survive. But that's humanity's greatest strength. We don't just overcome challenges, we transform them into opportunities for growth. Captain Rodriguez's voice came through the quantum network one last time from orbit above Crystallos. The first joint patrol fleet is assembled. Human, Zalaxian, Arcturian, and Proximan ships, all equipped with hybrid quantum technology. Permission to proceed with the inaugural mission. Granted, Captain, Santos replied. Show the galaxy what cooperation looks like. As the combined fleet moved into quantum space, their drives creating a harmony of crystalline and manifold signatures, the age of singular dominance truly ended. Humanity had not just secured its place among the stars. It had fundamentally changed how species across the galaxy viewed technology, progress, and each other. The Zalaxians had sought to integrate Earth into their confederation. Instead, humanity had integrated the entire galaxy into a new era of innovation and cooperation. It wasn't just a victory, it was an evolution, a transformation that would echo through the cosmos for millennia to come. In the quantum fields above Earth, ships of a dozen species maneuvered in perfect coordination, their crews linked through neural interfaces, their quantum drives harmonizing with crystalline matrices. The future had arrived, and it was more magnificent than anyone, human or alien, had dared to imagine.